Here I am, here to do my very first BC bi-weekly history test. Ever. So, check it out. We're going to do it for an hour. Start. Boom. Alright. So, now for the number generator. Random number. 47. Okay. 47, 460s BC. That was the beginning of the Peloponnesian War in the 460s BC because the Athenians wanted to create the Delian League. They all created the Delian League, but then the Athenians brought the money back to Athens, which then pissed off the Spartans, and they caused the Peloponnesian War, which was written by Thucydides, and Thucydides was a general in it. Sparta attacked Athens and Corinth. Okay, so now we're ready for the next one. 58. And generate 116, 115, the 1150s BC. In the 1150s BC, that was one generation after Trojan War. That was when Aeneas settled in Rome. They found Lavinium. He had a son named Aruns. And they fought the Aborigine tribe and united with them. But then 20 years later, they moved their capital from Lavinium to Alba Longa in the 1150s. So Alba Longa was founded, and then it became the capital of the Latin League out of time. Okay. Generate 105, 104, the 1040s. 1040s BC, 1000 BC. Let's guess that it was the third king of Alba Longa. Alba Longa is at the height of their power. We are in the Bronze Age of Europe, Bronze Age of Middle East. Let's just take a wild guess. We're in the Iron Age of South Africa, Bronze Age of East Asia. It was in the Shang Dynasty of China and the where Shinto was founded in Japan. Okay, we're out of time. Now for the next one. Random number 198. 197, the 1970s BC. So, the kingdom of Athens was in existence, and they were still a kingdom, as far as the Hittites were fighting the Egyptians. The Pharaoh. See, I didn't even look at this. Let's see, 1000 BC. Let's guess the 20th dynasty. King Pharaoh. Imhotep. The Jews. It was the beginning of the Judean kingdom and the kingdom of Levites? I don't know. Okay, next one. 139, 138, 1380s. The 1380s BC, Kingdom of Troy in full swing. And I'll also guess Kingdom of Troy founded. 1380s, Kingdom of Mycenae founded and in full swing. Minoans fall in the 1380s. BC, and it was the the lower kingdom of Egypt. Oh, that was Moses. So Imhotep as Pharaoh. The Jews are the slaves. Out of time. Woof. Random number 137, 1360s BC, 1360s. So, sea people attack Ramses II. See, I didn't study this before I did it. Akhenaten created his new, or Akhenaten, his new capital in the desert called Tanais. I don't. The Jews, 1360s, first captured by the. See, I can't find words easily. Egyptians. Let's guess. That's 200 years before the fall. So it's the height of the Middle Bronze Age of Europe. This is motivate me to do better. Okay, next one. Generate. 119, the 1180s BC. The 1180s. 1185 to 1175. So it was the beginning of the Trojan War. So that was when Agamemnon's wife, Helen, went to Troy with Paris, the prince of Troy. Priam was the king of Troy. His son was Achilles, was Hector, who was killed by Achilles, who was brought to the Trojan War as the leader of the Mermedones, but his Myrmidon best buddy was killed by Hector. So that's what made him want to kill Hector. He dragged Hector's body around the gates of Troy 3 times after killing him with a spear. But then he was shot in the ankle, the Achilles tendon, by Paris, and he bled to death that way. But Paris escaped, and then Aeneas started his journey on the Aeneid. Aeneid story is about that, and they search for the golden fleece. Okay. 1480, 1470s, the 1470s BC. Let's guess that Atlas the astronomer died. It was the third king of the kingdom of Athens, third king of kingdom of Sparta. It was Moses. Abraham died, and then his wife named Sarah died. And 1470s BC. Let's guess that the Dorians entered the Peloponnese in Greece, and that Delphi was founded. And you're out of time. Generate random. 1150s BC. 1150s. So that was Aeneas' son died. And his grandson took over power, and 1170s. It was the 1150s. Let's say it was the last decade of the Bronze Age collapse. Cliff cities created from Bronze Age collapse. You're in the Neolithic age in Europe and in Italy, Bronze Age in Middle East, and Bronze Age in Africa. Alba Longa founded. Alba Longa in charge of Latin League. Okay, because that's kind of similar to the other one. Next random. 110, 109. The 1090s BC. 1090s BC. Aeneas' grandson, third king of Alba Longa. Alba Longa, head of Latin League. I don't know really anything else. 1070s. The beginning of the kingdom of Judea and the kingdom of Israel. Solomon was king. Solomon born. The Queen of Sheba visits Solomon. They have sex, but then she goes back. She gives him gifts. He builds the Temple of Solomon, and that's the first mention of the Ark of the Covenant winning battles and being stored in the temple. Okay, random number 95, 940s BC. 940s BC, Kingdom, Shang Dynasty, China. I don't really know anything else. The beginning of the Syrians, Elam Falls. Man, I can't think of the names of these places. Whatever. And 1140s BC. How about the first mention of the Mayans? I don't know. You're out of time. Man, I want to get more into the more recent ones. Oh no, what happened to my random number? What the fuck? Oh god, one of those situations. They took my random number generator away. It just went away. Oh god. Come on. And now I have to reprogram it. You have to be careful only to hit regenerate, because then when you bring it back, 164, now I only have 30 seconds. 163, 1630s BC. 1630s BC, 5th king of Alba Longa. No, that's before. Beginning of the Bronze Age, Ramses II, Ramses I, Nefertiti, King Tut. I'm just drawing straws here. 26th Dynasty. And you're out of time, dude. Random number. 22, 21, 210s BC. 210s BC is the end of the Punic Wars. That was when Hannibal was defeated. Hannibal dies. Let's guess the elephants over the Alps. 210s BC. Battle of Capua, or Siege of Capua. Carthage takes over southern Spain. 210s BC. Scipio dies. It's the Republic of Rome. King Philip III of Macedon and the Pyrrhic War. Okay. 29, 280s BC. 280s BC. I know it wasn't the siege of Rome by the Gauls. That was like 100 years before. At the beginning of the First Peloponnesian War, Rome builds their first fleet of boats. Their first two Roman fleets sink. The entire fleet sinks in the ocean in the Peloponnesian War, just north of Sicily. In the Punic War. I have to remember what decade this is. 280s BC. Scipio born. Out of time. Okay. 1500s BC. 1500s BC. The beginning of the Bronze Age in South Europe. Beginning of Bronze Age, North Europe, West Europe. Beginning of Iron Age in West Europe, South Africa. 1500s BC. Atlas dies. Atlas the astronomer dies. I know he flourished in 1550s. Third king of Athens, third king of Sparta. The Hittites fight the Egyptians. Ramses the First is the whatchamacallit, Pharaoh of Egypt. Yeah, I'm doing really bad. Okay. 1050s. We already did that one. 106, 1050s. So that was when Alba Longa was founded. Oh, that would have been the 11. That was 100 years later. How about the fourth king of Alba Longa? Founding of Latin League. Beginning of Iron Age in Italy. Sea peoples leave the Egypt. There's a new dynasty in Egypt. The 27th dynasty starts. Here's where I get kind of groggy from the thinking. Yeah, I need to practice my dates better. 1050s BC. The King Tut. I don't know. Oh man, I wish you would go into the smaller numbers. Okay, next one. Oh, good. 71, 700s BC. Okay. That was King Numa Pompilius was the king of Rome. He dies, and then the fourth king of Rome takes over. And 700s BC. The Samnites become incorporated. The Sabians become incorporated. Latin League formed with Rome as the leader. Kingdom of Rome in existence. Kingdom of Carthage gets founded by Dido in the 700s. Oops, out of time. Next one, 66, the 650s BC. 650s BC, King Tarquinius Superbus. He is born. King Severus is the king of England, and he dies. Severan Wall built in Rome. I have to remember what decade this is. Dude, why does it do that? It literally does it right in front of me. I'm looking at it, and it just takes me out of random number generator, and then I have to reprogram it again. Happens every time. Like right in front of me, it just goes off the screen. So where were we? 700s. I guess that's it. Out of time. Okay, boom. 42, 410s BC. 410s BC. That was when Athens was allowed to become a democracy again after. So they're set free by the Spartans after being controlled by them. They rebuild their walls. The Athenians do. Sparta loses the most colonies at this time, and 410s BC. The first king of the Macedonians, founding of the Macedonians, grandfather of King Philip, who was the father of Alexander the Great, 410s BC. How about the beginning of the Pythian priestess, in Delphi. Next one, 82, 81, 810s BC. 810s BC, the sixth king of Alba Longa, his king and dies, 810s BC. Shang Dynasty of China, here's where I'm getting tired. The Bronze Age of Europe, Kingdom of Athens, Kingdom of Sparta. How about fourth king of Sparta? How about the pair of kings gets initiated in Sparta? 1050s, 820s BC. 820s, the fall of the kingdom of Israel, fall of the kingdom of Judah. How about King David's dies, or his son dies? How about the giants are subsumed into the defeated by the Jews? Okay. 39, 380s BC. 380s BC. King Philip of Macedon born. Aristotle born. Plato dies. Anaxagoras writes, dies. Plato's book Republic comes out, as well as dialogues. I have to remember what decade this is. 380s BC. How about the Romans finally kill off the Gauls? And let's just guess that Rome was destroyed, burnt down by the Gauls. That was the 390s, though. Yeah, and a one-on-one battle, a Roman beats a Gaul in their war. 47, 460s BC. Peloponnesian Wars going on. How about the Athenian expedition to Sicily? And they're defeated by the Kingdom of Syracuse. And 460s BC. Socrates is fighting in the war, and Alcibiades is born, and the democracy of Athens is in full swing, or is started. Out of time. Okay. 159, 158, 1580s BC. 1580s BC. Atlas the astronomer born. Beginning of the Bronze Age of Europe and West Europe and East Europe, Southeast, Southwest Europe, Africa. 1580s BC. The Shang Dynasty of China. The founding of the Kingdom of Athens and the Kingdom of Sparta. And King Ramses II is leader of Egypt, and it's the 27th dynasty. Okay, now next one. I'm not even halfway. Okay, 17, so the 160s BC. 160s BC was when Rome took over Greece, Pyrrhic War with the King of Pharos. He kills and defeats Pharos. Defeats the Macedonians in battle, King Philip III, or the Fourth. The Romans beat Macedon when it's legionaries with their short gladiuses versus the long spears of the Macedonians. Gladius proves, with the cohort, proves superior. Marius creates Marian mules where they pack their own food with a little rucksack, ditty bag on their back, and they adopt the gladius from Spain, and he starts the cohort in the Manipul, and Marius dies, and he makes the Marian road. Okay, 115, the 140s BC. 140s BC is the was that the end of the Punic War? It was the Republic of Rome is going on Athens is all of Athens is getting Roman buildings built there for the first time. I'm getting super groggy. 140s BC. Rome finishes taking over all of Greece. Yeah. Yeah, this is like a... This is what you want to... This is what you do if you want to start yawning all the time. 55, 540s BC. 540s BC is... how about the first of the 7 sages of Greece dies in the 540s? Let's let philosophizing begin in the 540s BC. It was the 6th king of Rome, Tarquinius Superbus, and 540s BC. See, I'm telling you, yawning uncontrollably at this point. All right, we're out of control. We're out of time. Oh, I had to bring it back, so I'm going to lose it. Okay, good, I didn't. Okay, generate. Come on. Oh, no, it doesn't want to generate. Okay, 147. The 1460s BC. 1460s BC is, how about the founding of the Kingdom of Troy? Founding of, how about the 5th king of Athens, 5th king of Sparta? They both got started in the 1550s. 1460s BC. How about the golden age of, how about the 27th dynasty of Egypt? Ramses II is king. They build the Ramses statue. Okay, next one. 9. 80s BC. 80s BC is the... Julius Caesar was in his 20s. Julius Caesar gets captured by the pirates, and then he has them killed. And Sulla is in control of Rome. Sulla kills all of his rivals. Marius dies. There's the first civil war of Rome. How about Sulla prescriptions in Rome where he kills 2,000? I don't know. Okay, out of time. Okay. Generate. 167. The 1660s BC. 1660s BC. Iron Age of... the Bronze Age of the Middle East starts. And Abraham is alive. Abraham born. Sarah born. His wife. Then they have a daughter named Rebecca who died. 1660s BC. Ramses the First. The fight with the Hattusia. Hattusia conquer. Yeah. Oh no! Oh damn it! It happened again. Oh, that's when I accidentally hit the back button, I think. Okay, 20. 190s BC. 190s BC is the. How about the land reforms of the Gracchus brothers? Tiberius Gracchus born. Tiberius Gracchus killed, assassinated. I have to continue to look at this because my brain yawning all the time. Okay, 190s BC, King Philip the Second is king of Egypt. I mean Greece. Macedon. King Philip for King of Macedon. Macedon takes over the rest of Greece for the first time. Yeah, and you're out of time. Okay, and you're only halfway through. Here's where it gets really tiresome. You just start yawning and falling asleep. 25, 240s BC. 240s BC is the Republic of Rome. How about, yeah, Marius's mules? That would be maybe the Second Punic War. Beginning, ending, bulk of Punic War. Let's guess height of the Carthage. Let's guess that Rome loses a fleet in a hurricane, and they build their first fleet by finding a Carthaginian ship shipwrecked on their shore. I have to look up the date again because I don't remember. 25, 240s BC. Scipio is leader and then dies. Okay, you're out of time. Okay, 146, the 1450s BC. 1450s BC is founding of the Trojan kingdom. 1450s BC is Ramses II statue. Or maybe it was Imhotep or Akhenaten who started his own religion for just a generation. The Jews are first captured into Egypt. Abraham dies, Sarah dies, his wife. 1460s BC. 1450s BC. The beginning of the height of the Bronze Age, height of the Minoan civilization and the Mycenaean civilization. Next, 48, 470s BC. 470s BC, let's say the height of the Peloponnesian War. Athens brings the money back to Athens, but maybe like a second invasion of Xerxes II into Greece, where he makes the bridge of 160,000 boats across the Pontus from Asia Minor to Byzantium. My phone is just running a blank right now. It's just a blank screen, so I don't even know what the hell we're talking about. 1460s BC? No, 470s BC. Thucydides is the leader of the Jews faction, and Thucydides, is brought back from Jews. No, he was a Roman general. He's a Roman general. 103, the 1020s BC, fourth king of Alba Longa, 30 cities in the Latin League. Alba Longa becomes leader of the Latin League. Yeah. King Tut, I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank. 1020s. And I'm just yawning. I cannot do only yawn on this one. So next one. 91, 900s BC. 900s BC was... this is an obscure time. You're in the Dark Ages of Greece. 900s even. Let's say that's when Homer was born. Homer's mother and father were born. And 900s. And let's say that Egypt was divided, upper and lower kingdom at that time. And there was a plague in Egypt, a famine in Egypt, let's guess. And then a plague or a famine somewhere else, like in Greece. And 900s BC. Yeah, that's it. You're out of time. And next one, 114, 1130s BC. The 1130s BC is... I'm going to have a bunch of coffees next time I do this because I literally just fall asleep. The 1130s BC is where Priam born, Priam's father, king. Oh, that was in the 1180s. Let's guess that Aeneas' son is king of the Latins, and they move their capital to Alba Longa, and it is the... Yeah, being able to stay awake is a major challenge when you take these. 1130s BC is when they go into the Bronze Age of Egypt. I mean, Italy. Iron Age of Egypt. And Tutankhamun's king. I don't know. 2358. Okay. Next one. Generate. 171. 1700s BC. 1700s BC, 24th Dynasty, I don't know. Bugs. 1700s BC, damn, I've got bugs just living on my face. Founding of Troy, founding of the fall of Hattusia, founding of Lydia, the Dorians enter Greece, the fall of Mycenaeans and fall of Minoans. Out of time. 168, 1670s BC. Oh God, such a random. Elam falls. Let's say that there was the flood of Deucalion in Athens. 1670s BC. Let's guess that that's the 220th priest of Sais. And then it turns into the 221st priest of Sais. Let us guess that in the year 1670s, there was a famine in the Middle East. And, oh yeah, let's guess that Abraham was born on that. Okay. Now you're out of time. Oh my God, I'm barely going to be holding my eyes up by the time I'm done with this. Next one, 158. The 1570s BC. Oh, that was when, let's say, Atlas, the Greek astronomer, was born. 1570s BC was where Kingdom of Athens founded, Kingdom of Spartan founded. How about the very first Olympic Games? And how about the very first Delphian Games as well? And 1570s BC. And founding of Troy. The Shang Dynasty of China. I don't know, that's enough. Out of time. Man, I want this to be over. So I'm about to pass out. 2. Okay, so the teens BC. Teens BC was when the Battle of Actium was 27, so teens was when Augustus paved the cities of Rome. He made it the Roman marble city. He rebuilt the theater of Marcellus. Augustus in the teens BC declares himself a god, consolidates all of the everything, the consul power and everything. Teeds BC. His Augustus is in his 50s, yeah, the province of France and England is in existence. Yeah, you're out of time. Oh, can't think of any writers. Livy writes, let's guess, and Pliny. Okay. Random number generator, another one. 43. The 420s BC. That was when the Peloponnesian War ended, with Sparta as victor, took over Athenians, turned it from a democracy to a oligarchy. They made Athens tear down their walls. Normally cities, when they're taken over, they're destroyed, but Athens wasn't. It was just forced to stop being a democracy. And then Sparta loses most of its colonies at this point, and most of its power. All right, next one. 30. 290s BC. 290s, I think it's 390s, but let's guess that the 290s was when the Gauls sacked Rome and burnt Rome to the ground, and Livy, all of Rome's history was lost, so they had to rebuild it from scratch, but then Livy took off. 30, 290s, and maybe that was when Hannibal died. I think we're out of time, but I'm also about to pass out. Yeah, when I do this again, I have to do a lot of caffeine because I'm literally about to drop the camera because I'm about to fall asleep. That's what sometimes thinking does to me. 142, the 1410s BC. Another obscure time period. Let's guess that's when the Kingdom of Troy was started. Kingdom of Mycenae at its height. 1410s BC. 1410s BC. Abraham is king. He was going to sacrifice his son, but then told by God not to. Rebecca, or Rachel is king. Rebecca's daughter. I don't know. Damn, what year though? What years? I keep forgetting. 142, the 1410s BC. Let's guess that Troy and Troy founded. Okay, next one. 156, 1550s BC. Well, here we are. 1550s BC. That's when the Kingdom of Sparta was founded. Kingdom of Athens founded. First kings there. That is when the Atlas the astronomer flourished. That was when Rome and Italy, all of Europe, went into the Bronze Age. So probably when people came from the north, but there's no sign. Man, I just dropped my camera, dude. I'm like halfway dreaming. I'm like halfway awake right now. I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Like 420. 150s, 1550s BC. King Ramses II. Okay, you're out of time. Man, I just want this to be over. I'm about to pass out. 1170s BC. 1170s BC. 1175 is when the Trojan War ended. So that's when Achilles kills Hector, drags his body around the wall 3 times, and then Priam goes and asks Achilles to give his son's body back so he can bury him correctly. He does that, but then it's the end of the Civil War. Achilles gets killed by Paris shoots an arrow into his Achilles tendon and he bleeds to death. Priam dies when they get sacked by the Greeks, but then Agamemnon gets killed by his wife. I think poisoned or something when he gets home because he was two-timing on her with Helen of Troy and other women. And the Aeneid is started. Aeneas starts his journey, and I think he even lands in Egypt. In Italy. Okay, next one. 1118, next one. 70, 69, the 690s BC. 690s BC, Kingdom of Rome, fourth king of Rome, can't remember who that was. Wow, I almost dropped the camera again. Where am I? The 690s BC. Numa Pompilius dies. They create the Vestal Virgins in Rome. Yeah, that's all I can think of. I'm like literally about to fall asleep. 154, 153, 1530s. In the 1530s, that is when the son of Aeneas dies, and then the grandson becomes king of Alba Longa. They found Alba Longa, 1530s BC. I don't know, King Ramses the second. So the King Ramses the second statue. 1530s BC, Atlas the astronomer dies. The Shang guy here, the book of invasions happens in Ireland. The Ukrainians do their 15 boats to Ireland to help an Irish king from Ukraine, from the Scythia. Okay, next random number generator. 148, 1470s BC, and then of course I'm going to start hiccuping all the time because I'm about to pass out. 1470s BC. Oh, the founding of Kingdom of Troy, founding of the Kingdom of Lydia. Lydia's gold mines found. The ring of Gyges, found by Gyges, who can put it on and become invisible. 1470s BC, the 24th dynasty of Greece, Egypt, the Ramses the First. They fight the Hattusans. They have the very first peace treaty with them. And then how about Damascus, founded by the Hattusans, and then as well as Tyre founded by the Phoenicians. And the Phoenicians are going strong. Okay. 120s BC. 120s BC. Father of Julius Caesar born. Mother of Julius Caesar born. The Republic of Rome. Sulla is leader of Rome. Marius was leader, loses leadership. Killed by Sulla. 120s BC. That's all I can think of, and I'm out of time. I'm about to pass out. Okay, 165, the 1640s BC. 1640s BC. I need to study. The Olympic Games founded. The Kingdom of Japan founded. Let's say there was the flood of Deucalion in Greece. 24th dynasty of Egypt. They built the final Pyramid. 16. I don't even remember. 1660s BC. Abraham. I don't know. Out of time. Okay. 74. 730s. 730s. Romulus dies. Romulus is king. Numa Pompilius takes over. He is from the Sabines, so he's a Sabine. They do the first games. Whoa! I almost dropped my camera. I'm so about to pass out. 730s BC. Romulus disappears in a whirlwind of dust. Some people think he went to the gods. Some think he was killed by the senators. It sets a precedent of killing, and then they vow to kill anybody who tries to make themselves king after that. We are at the 730s BC. That's all I can think of. I can barely even think at all. I need to have more caffeine when I start this because they make me tired, just the act of doing it. I'm not used to thinking like this. I think. 64. Oh my god, I forgot to show. See, I'm going wonky. The 630s BC. 630s BC. King Tarchus Superbus. He's born in a halo. As a little boy, he's seen with a fiery halo around his head, which gives him the prophecy of being king. His parents moved there from Corinth. 630s BC. The Rome wages war against the final bits of the Sabines. Dang, what time is it? 630s BC. The Etruscan League of 12 cities is at full force. Oh shit, out of time. Okay, 490s BC. Socrates is born. The beginning of the Peloponnesian Wars. And just about to drop my phone. 490s BC. That was the second consul of Rome, second and third consul of Rome, or the fourth and fifth consuls of Rome, and did they have the decemvirs that close? No. 490s BC. Well, the Peloponnesian War is stirring, so maybe Corinth is attacked by the Athenians or something. Oh my God, you're out of time. Jesus. 1090, the 1080s BC. 1080s BC is, oh God, fifth king of Alba Longa. 1080s BC is the Nefertiti. Latin is going strong. And 1080s BC. I'm drawing a blank. I barely even know that I'm awake right now. I want this to be over. 900s BC. I'm like dreaming, falling in and out of dreams as I'm trying to stay awake for this. 900s BC. In the 900s BC, oh my God, fifth king of Alba Longa. Europe is in the Bronze Age. Height of the totally drew a blank. Yeah, I have to OD on coffee whenever I do this from now on. 900s BC. The son of King Iknat Han dies, and they move their capital back to Memphis. So Memphis is the capital of Lower Italy, Egypt. Next one. 160, 160, 159, 1590s. 1590s BC. Beginning of the the Bronze Age of Europe, beginning of Bronze Age of Middle East and Northern Europe. 1590s BC, at birth of Atlas the astronomer. King 25th, 4th dynasty of Egypt. King maybe that was an Nefertiti. I don't know my king's list. What year is it? 1690s BC. 1590s BC. Oops, out of time. 195, 1940s BC. 1940s BC was the beginning of... See, now here's where I can't do anything. The beginning of the Bronze Age of Egypt. Same thing with South Europe, West Europe, East Europe, North Europe. And the 1940s BC was when the trade between Greece and the Middle East was the highest. 1940s BC. That was before Japan had a had written history of their shoguns. Oops, out of time. Oh, only 3 left, thank God. I'm going to have a goddamn nap after this. 12, 11. The 110s BC. Okay, I would say that was the height of the Roman Republic. That was when Scipio died. Marius died. Sulla born. 110s BC. That was when Rome adopts Greek literature. The first Roman building in Athens is built by Sulla. 110s BC. Out of time. Next one. 105. The 1040s BC. God, we keep having to go here. I don't know. 1040s BC. How about 4th king of Alba Longa? Latin League, first Latin League from Alba Longa started, 1040s BC. They get into the Bronze Age at that time. 1040s BC was when... How about Greece? Egypt was divided into 2 different kingdoms, Upper and Lower Kingdom, at that time, and they have a war at that time. Let's say Northern Kingdom, Lower Egypt has a war with somebody in the Middle East at that time. The 1040s BC was a time of nothing. Out of time. Okay. 168, the 1670s BC. God, this thing's doesn't seem so random to me. 1670s BC was when Akhenaten founded his new town and his new religion. Abraham was going to sacrifice his son Isaac, but God told him not to. Let's say he marries his wife Ruth, and they have their first kid, and then Abraham dies in the 1670s BC. Out of time. Oh, you're totally out of time in general. Oh, look, out of time. Look, see? Boom. Okay. So, that was my hour. How many minutes? It doesn't say. That was my hour, man. I learned a lesson. I'm going to study it more. I have to study it more. But not knowing that I do well and grading myself is going to help. And also, I have to completely get jacked on caffeine. Because if I'm groggy or tired at all, then it's over. I will be basically dreaming and half conscious as I'm doing the test. But anyway, that's it. That's my first BC test. I'm sure that the next one I'll do better, and I didn't get a 0 on it. Talk to you next time.